This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 2276, Owning Our Attention During Uncertainty by Anthony Ongaro of BreakTheTwitch.com. And I'm Justin Malik, your very own personal narrator. And I'm going to keep on narrating for you, so let's get right to it as we optimize your life. Owning Our Attention During Uncertainty by Anthony Ongaro of BreakTheTwitch.com. At this point, it's been a few weeks, and I'm still having trouble fully processing everything that is going on right now. There's a lot of uncertainty about what will happen in the next few months around the world. And for most of us, our lives have been disrupted in a way that we haven't really experienced before. Despite being an optimist, I don't find it productive to attempt forced feelings of positivity during a crisis. While I might have tried to do that in the past, I'm now focusing more on trying to just feel what I'm experiencing at this moment and not push those feelings away too quickly. That and ice cream helps. Let's just say my friends Ben and Jerry are the only two other people outside of my household that I haven't been following social distancing protocol with during this time. I'm the furthest thing from a medical professional one could possibly imagine, so I'll be leaving those particular thoughts to the more qualified. With that being said, there are things I've been working through, things that might help us see some light during this darker than expected timeline. When it comes to owning our attention and being human, I have some pretty decent credentials. So let's start there. Here are some thoughts I'd like to share in no particular order, shared with the hope that they will help us all navigate this time together. During times of uncertainty, we'll always want more information. We've long ago reached peak information, the point where the information that exists in the world is far beyond our ability to consume it all. It is now an endless, exponentially growing supply of words, videos, posts, and pictures. Heck, pick a single website and you'd be hard-pressed to get through all of the content at this point. It is human to seek answers, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it is inhuman to consume information 100% of the time. It is essential to limit our information intake in a thoughtful way during times like these, ranging from either taking an hour completely off to limiting it to an hour in its entirety. We need space to process our thoughts, feelings, and the information we collect along the way. The twitch gets much stronger during these times. I found myself picking up my phone and checking things more now than I have in a long time. Texts, Instagram, the stock market, emails, literally anything. Maybe it's a fear of missing something, some critical information that I'd not have otherwise. Maybe it's the belief that the more I know, the safer I'll be. The problem is that it very clearly makes me feel worse, yet it's so hard to avoid. The things that have helped are analog activities such as music, walking, short meditations, and just about anything not on a screen. Start breaking away in small ways and see how you can adapt. A disrupted life is a powerful time for personal change. It's really, really hard to be creative during a time of deep stress and uncertainty. My thoughts go down a few levels toward the necessities: food, water, the health of my loved ones, money, and trying to figure out what will happen with all of this. Once I had time to feel the anxiety of those thoughts for a while, some other things set in. I started thinking about all the things I couldn't do now and regretted not doing those things more. Hanging out with new friends here in Arizona, going to events and gatherings, freely walking about the grocery store without wondering if I'd be able to buy toilet paper. In a way, this forced, simpler life is making me take a hard look at the priorities I've set up to this point and question the things I deemed necessary. For the last 2 years, I've relied heavily on a gym membership to maintain my healthy habits. It was the transitional act of going to the gym each day that helped me maintain the actual workout habit. Suddenly, I'm learning that I'm capable of actually doing workouts at home relatively consistently. Sure, there was a dip when we chose to stop going to the gym. However, I've been able to work back up to it. Maybe a small distinction, but it's still worth noting. It is when the status quo has been immeasurably disrupted that we see most clearly what we're capable of and what actually matters most to us. That is a powerful perspective to have, and one we should not take for granted. seeking new ways to obtain the familiar helps. When I got more into healthier eating and began tracking daily calories, I started learning more about making the foods that I loved, but in healthier ways, either by reducing the overall calories in the meal or substituting healthier ingredient options. If you didn't know already, I have a big sweet tooth, which is a nice way of saying sugar addict. I especially love cookies, and I found an easy way to make healthier protein cookies that, enjoyment-wise, are 90% of the way there. While it may not be quite as good as the real thing, it's helpful to do the same thing with other areas of life right now. I've been getting on Zoom video calls with family, working and meditating several times per day on video calls with Break the Twitch community members, and even doing virtual video workouts with a couple of friends across the country. It's definitely not all of what I need as an extrovert during this time of social isolation, but it helps ease the pain of feeling incredibly disconnected. Looking for small ways to do this in your life, to feel a sense of normalcy and familiarity, will be helpful as we navigate this time. There's always opportunity in uncertainty. I don't mean the opportunity to take advantage of the situation in a sleazy way. That's gross. I mean simply seeing things for what they are and looking for the gift in the storm. It might be an opportunity to call someone you haven't talked to in a long time, an opportunity to offer a skill or talent you have that would help someone else substantially, an opportunity to reprioritize just about any aspect of life. As bad as things seem, we can feel the bad authentically, see opportunities, all while reassessing the situation and growing as a result. We don't need to pretend like the uncertainty we face is some magical happy time. It's okay to feel that as it is. The cult of constant positivity is not one I care to join. But we can look for ways to find familiar, turn inward during this time of isolation, and come out stronger through a difficult situation. You just listened to the post titled, Owning Our Attention During Uncertainty by Anthony Ongaro of BreakTheTwitch.com. Thank you to Anthony. Funny that this was written pretty early on in the pandemic and still very applicable today. There's uncertainty all over the place. And how right is he about content? A purpose of this show is to try to curate that for you because there's way too much online to get through, and picking which authors or which of their articles are worth our time, that gets overwhelming. Luckily, we have basically 3 people here who are looking at this content before it makes it into an episode here on the show. I couldn't do it all myself at this point. I did for the first year or 2, but once we had like more than 3 shows, I couldn't pick all of that content alone anymore, and plus narrating it all. Anyway, getting back to the point, I think curation and finding someone you trust to help you be picky with that can help a lot. And the other thing I wanted to mention was to remember the end of this post. If you want something to take away today, for me, it's the ending, that there's always opportunity in uncertainty. Try to see that silver lining or how something could be made better for either you or someone else because of what you're going through. Because as they say, when a door closes, another door opens. Or is it a window opens? In either case, something opens. And it's our job to look for it instead of just staring at the closed door. So keep those eyes open and your ears open too, of course. This is a podcast after all. Thank you for listening every day. Have a great weekend if you're listening in real time, and I'll see you tomorrow as usual, where your optimal life awaits.